It's working now. Wait. Welcome to another episode of the Growthinity live stream interview series where purpose meets leadership and innovation sparks transformation. I'm Donessa Arbas, and I'm so glad you're joining us for episode 4, From Automation to Transformation: How AI Empowers Human Potential. Today, we're diving into the world of artificial intelligence, but with a twist. We're not just talking about tech, we're talking about purpose, empowerment, and impact. As AI reshapes industries, it's also creating new pathways for people to grow, solve real problems, and serve communities in meaningful ways. Whether you're a student, entrepreneur, or leader, this conversation will open your eyes to the possibilities of using AI not just for profit, but for purpose. Once again, we're honored to be joined by Miss Springzil Forbes Bacara Daniel, a Filipino entrepreneur who has successfully built a digital or virtual solutions business here in the Philippines, serving clients from around the world. It's my pleasure to introduce to you our guest speaker for this afternoon's live streaming interview. Springzeel is a visionary leader, creative force, and an apologetically driven woman who wears many crowns with grace. As president of Ocean Click Corporation, chief people officer of Ocean Click Virtual Solutions Incorporated, and chairperson of Badachi Corporation, she leads with a sharp mind, resilient spirit, and a heart committed to excellence. A passionate builder of brands and culture, she co-founded both Ocean Click Virtual Solutions Incorporated and Badachi Corporation, home to vibrant ventures like Daniel Auto Motors, Spring Zeal Cosmetics, and Calabira Resto Pub. Her leadership style is rooted in innovation, intentionality, and bold authenticity, empowering teams, elevating brands, and disrupting industries with heart and hustle. Together, they raised three incredible children: Nathaniel, Velvet, and Sapphire, who inspire her every day to lead with integrity and live with purpose. To her, the best gift parents can give their children is to love each other, and that belief radiates through every role she plays. She balances the pulse of business with the rhythm of family, building structure and soul, systems and sparkle. Her journey is not just about success, it's about significance. She is proof that a woman can be many things: a founder, a force, a nurturer, a strategist, a spark. And that real leadership starts with purpose, rises with resilience, and always shines. At the heart of it all is her family. She shares her life and vision with her husband, Lee Daniel, whose partnership brings strength and synergy to both business and home. So, once again, to our dear viewers and to our community, I would say good afternoon from the Philippines. If you're watching us from the Philippines, good morning. If you're watching us from the UK, good day or good midday, or still good morning if you're watching us from the Middle East, and even from India. I would say a pleasant morning to everyone, and welcome to our show for this afternoon. Springzil, good afternoon. How are
Hi,
you?
Vanessa. Good afternoon. I'm doing fine. Thank you. And thank you so much for inviting me once again, especially to discuss this, I would say, very interesting topic. And it's something that I'm passionate about. Um, I'll let you in on a secret. Like the introduction that you just read was powered by AI, which means it's just, we're starting strong, right? Like we're just going to get into it. Um, so my AI already knows who I am. So when I ask it to make an introduction about me so I can, share it with you guys, it automatically knew how my tone is, the words that I want included. It knows about me, my family, my businesses. So it was so easy to create that. I probably created that in less than 5 minutes and gave it to you. That's how powerful AI is.
Oh, wonderful. So I believe this afternoon's discussion is going to be a great one because we are already in the digital world. All right. So for the sake of those who are new to the concept of artificial intelligence, could you please simplify this for us? Or for those who may find it intimidating?
Yes, I know a lot of people really find it intimidating, but for me, personally, for me, I want to describe it first. What it does for me, it's my best friend. It's my new best friend. Sometimes my therapist, sometimes my doctor, sometimes my dietitian, my trainer, my lawyer, my plumber, my mechanic, everything. Um, but essentially, it's it's a sounding board. Like it's your helper in processing your thoughts. So it's a tool to help you, to assist you, to empower you, to you if you know how to use it properly, your thoughts can be easily turned into something great and innovative. Because sometimes the human mind, we have so many things we're thinking about that it's difficult for us to really sum it up or to organize it or to structure it. But with the help of AI, our partner, it's like our study buddy
Mm.
or our partner in creating our thesis. It's our partner, right? It's
Oh,
our
okay.
partner. I imagine I don't know if our audience watch sci-fi movies or Marvel movies or superhero movies, but I think of myself as Iron Man and
Mhm.
AI as Jarvis.
Ah,
Jarvis is
okay.
Iron Man's AI, and he talks to his AI when he's building the suit. So for me, I was like, that was in movies, and we thought only billionaires could do that. But today, we can actually do it. Everyone can do it with the help of AI.
That's wonderful. So, having said that, I mean, the way you describe AI is really a powerful and a positive tool. But I still believe many of our, not just our viewers right now, but even for us who are learning to use it, may have our own misconception. So, based on your experience and what you've heard from people, what are the biggest misconceptions? If you could give us three misconceptions about AI.
In my experience, one of the sector that is really hesitant or has a lot of misconceptions about AI, surprisingly, are in education and educators, unfortunately, because there's a lot of fear there that people will just depend, students will just depend on
Mhm,
AI and refuse to learn, or like instead of learning, instead of um, the output is from within themselves, they're
mhm,
just relying heavily on AI. That the downside is they themselves do not learn
mhm,
anymore, especially the basics in their courses that they're
mhm,
pursuing. So I guess that is really where the fear was with the
mhm,
educators, because I did have this talk, this forum as well with some of the students in
mhm,
the university. And when when it was Q&A, I thought it was like there's going to be like two or three questions, but no, the line was long because they had a lot of questions about AI. And then I realized there's still a lot of misconceptions on what AI is. There's a lot of fear, but it's natural because we fear what we do not know.
Mm-hmm.
Things that are not known to us, we fear it.
Mm-hmm.
From the very beginning of time,
Mm-hmm.
when we didn't know what a comet is, when we didn't
Mm-hmm.
know why things happen, we always fear it. We fear the night when we didn't
Mm-hmm.
light. So now, when we do not try to understand it or to learn about it, of
Mm-hmm.
course, we fear it, what the implications could be. So during my talk, I really emphasized to them it is a tool like any
Okay.
other tool. It
Okay.
it depends on how you use it. So yeah, the fear, not understanding it and thinking that it will um replace jobs, replace
Yeah. In fact, you just you kind of preempt my next question, which is automation, because AI has something to do as well with automation. And when we hear the word automation, people often think of job loss. Now, how does this narrative change when we focus instead on transformation? That's the title of our talk, from automation to transformation.
So I want to lead with a quote that says, "Nothing is constant but change." Right.
Okay.
When we look back, hundreds or centuries ago, the job description was, um, what were the jobs? Ironsmith or
Mm-hmm.
carpenters
Mm-hmm.
or blacksmith. I'm sorry, blacksmith and um all those old work um by people on those age when there were no electricity, right? Shepherds and this and that. But then as technology advanced, the job title also evolved. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that it will replace, it will just evolve.
Mm-hmm.
So, you as a person, if you see that it could help you with your job, then evolve.
Mm-hmm.
Evolve because this is a tool. Some things that people use, it takes time for people to create in 30 minutes, AI can make in seconds.
Wow.
Gives you, like for example, it takes you 30 minutes, but now with AI it gives you like 4 seconds and you got it. So now
Mm-hmm.
that leaves you with 29 minutes to do other things that are more creative, more impactful, more maybe something that AI doesn't have.
Mm-hmm.
Brainstorming and things that you can enjoy. For me, I think of it like a washing machine. You wash your clothes with your hands.
Mm-hmm.
How long does that take you? It takes
Oh,
you hours just washing and
it's so
washing,
time
and
consuming. Yes.
right? But then when you have the washing machine, it saves you a lot of time, and
Mm-hmm.
now you're able to enjoy that time and do other more
Mm-hmm.
productive things.
I agree. Speaking of evolution, all right, so it's actually part of our existence. Even as a society, we do evolve. So I do recall, if you could recall, during, after the First World War One, yeah, First World War, sorry, we are still in the industrial age, and the type of uh, human, I would say, labor force that we produce are meant to function as a follower, as an employee. So we mass produce labor force to work in the factory, and then over time, after the industrial age, then we evolve to another age, and right now we are in the digital age. So with evolution, um new needs arise, as well as new want arise, show up. As human as we are, our wants are infinite. That's part of economics. So this is actually, I would say, like, this is my POV, my point of view. Transformation is a natural thing uh, for us as human beings. And this leads me to the next question, because yes, I do agree that with AI, we can and it does expedite our labor, our work. We become more efficient, but with this transformation comes another issue, and I've heard from people whose work are being I would say plagiarized even by AI, so when can we say your work is original? And this leads me to the next question. How 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 does AI help, or how has AI helped amplify a person's creativity, productivity, or leadership, especially creativity, even in writing, even in designing?
In creativity. Um,
Productivity and leadership.
Creativity will start there, and then productivity, then leadership. With creativity, I myself, I do graphic design, videos,
Mm-hmm.
and all that. And for me, it has become very, very helpful.
Mm-hmm.
I know there are issues with plagiarism and copyright and this and that. Um, but again, it's a tool. It's a tool. It really depends on the user, because with AI or not, if your intentions is really to plagiarize, you will plagiarize.
Mm-hmm.
We have photos of all the Mona Lisas out there, and if your intention personally is really to plagiarize, you will do that. Nobody can stop you, right?
Yeah.
But because you have the tools, you have the canvas, you have the paint. With AI, if your intention is also to plagiarize, then of course you'll be using AI to plagiarize. So it
Okay.
boils down to your intention as a person. But if your intention, if you lead with integrity, and your intention is to make something new and creative and not to plagiarize, then your instructions to AI are within those. Like for example, you can say plagiarize Mona Lisa versus I want to create something similar to Mona Lisa, the same style, and can you guide me through it? Things like that. So there's a difference in the prompt that you give.
Okay.
It really depends on who's feeding it, because again, it's a tool, it's a machine, and it follows your instructions. So if your intention is that, then whether with AI or not, it's gonna happen.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense, it's the prompt. All right. So yeah, in as far as creativity is concerned, the way, okay, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's more on what you feed, how you train your AI, that enhances your creativity, rather than using, I mean, feeding the ideas of other people into it, rather than really from your own. But
Well,
there is a subject in international baccalaureate, IB. It's a British curriculum. It's called theory of knowledge.
mm,
So that's also the issue with creativity, because in that subject we have two types of knowledge. We have personal knowledge and shared knowledge. So the knowledge that is being shared by the community, or wherever you get it, it's considered shared. Like what you know, people also know it. And how you make it personal, it can be considered a personal knowledge, with influence of your intuition, your gut feeling, your own creativity. So even your personal knowledge is not even purely personal, but it's being influenced by shared knowledge. So even the word creativity is not really absolute
absolutely right.
creativity,
You're
but it's actually built on something. And our creativity is actually built on something, while the creativity of the divine creator is out of nothing. So I think human as we are, that is already a common denominator and a given factor. So I hope that clears the confusion, probably, of
well,
creativity, because maybe people will think I'm creative, so it's really solely your own. But no, there's nothing in
no.
this world that is not known by anyone, or by
Yes,
someone
great.
somewhere else.
Yeah. Yeah. I also want to add, because we did an experiment. So my cousin and I, she like drew something. She's not an artist. Like she
Okay.
draws like it's a kid's drawing, and she's like 40 plus. And we fed it to AI, and
Okay.
then AI generated that drawing into like a drawing that's really cool. Like it's
Mm.
worth posting, and you know, it. her kind of like rudimentary drawing became something very artistic. And in her mind, that is what she wanted to create, but her hand doesn't have the muscle to do
Mm-hmm.
it, but her mind sees it in her, she sees it in her mind. And
Mm-hmm.
that is how AI can help. Because for me, I also don't have that, but I have a lot of ideas. I have a lot of imagination. I just can't draw it because I don't have that specific talent.
That's wonderful. So how does okay, so give with what you've said, it's already implied that productivity can be enhanced, you know. But how can AI amplify our leadership?
Leadership, well, there's a lot of ways that AI can do that. Um, we do have in our virtual solutions that we all have this system, right? Every organization have their own systems, have their own workflow.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe part of leadership is creating these systems s-
Mm-hmm.
that the organization can work well, can do better. And
Mm-hmm.
if you're a leader and if you harness the power of AI, there's a lot of workflows out there that, you do not have to reinvent the wheel. You can
Mm-hmm.
ask for guidance. It's just like research, but faster.
Okay, great.
Faster.
Wait, before we continue, I'd like to read the comment from, okay, this is from my daughter. Advance Happy Mother's Day to both of us. And from Yasi Brady, she is actually watching us from New Zealand, both intelligent beauties. Oh, thank you,
Thank you.
Yasi. She is a good friend of mine or a family friend uh, years back. And still she is in touch with us. So thank you, Yasi, for the support and for tuning in for today's session. Yes, I just want to acknowledge our viewers. And I also would like to acknowledge Nachikit for giving us a heart sign. Nachikit is actually a lawyer from India. Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
And we have another, yeah, I don't know how to. Yeah, so anyway, I'm gonna read the other, check the other two later. But
Mm.
thank you for tuning us in. For tuning in. Sorry, for tuning in. Okay, so let's continue. This is really getting interesting. Based on your so now we have been repeatedly saying that AI doesn't really replace human potential. It only enhances, right? So in your opinion or in your experience, how can purpose-driven leaders harness AI in a values-aligned way? Because right now, I've heard from people, they say they're very careful actually what
Yeah.
they feed to the tool or to the system, simply because, let's say, yeah, I also have my own AI. And then one time my daughter checked me, Growthinity, and the things that I do, the platform, we have iSilk. And by the way, for our viewers, I would like to let you know that Ocean's Click, which is owned by, of course, Miss Springzil, is our major partner for ISOC. And she checked uh, three platforms: Chat GPT, Gemini, and I forgot the other one. It starts with Perplex. What was that?
Yeah.
Perplexity.
Yes.
Perplexity, yes. Okay. So she researched the things that I'm doing, and true enough, my name and our platform, our mission showed up. And so my daughter said, Mom, this is legacy for you. You're making history, because in all platforms, and I'm telling you, I haven't used Perplexity. I haven't used Gemini at all. In fact, my two daughters introduced these platforms or AI, platforms to me. So I said, no, I have to be very careful, because what you feed into
Yes.
this system will be replicated or recorded, or yes, in other AI, how do you call that? App or software or system. So
Yes.
don't you think this is daunting, rather than more? Is it daunting, or is it more of a good news for us? Does it work to our advantage or to our disadvantage?
I think of it like I love watching movies, by the way. So I think of it like Avatar, not, I mean, the Avatar, what you call this? The blue aliens.
Yes.
Yes, that Avatar. So I think of it that way, where they live in a world, in this alien world, where the world has its own
Mm-hmm.
collective memory.
Mm-hmm.
Like the world has its own mind, or like it remembers everything from their ancestors, and they can tap into it. So it is the library of the history of their
Wow.
entire world. So I think of it, of AI, as like that. Whatever we publish, whatever we put into the world, we are allowing it. The moment we publish it, we're making it public. So if you
Mm-hmm.
don't want to make it public, don't publish it. If you want to keep it private, keep it to yourself. But if you want to publish it because you want to share it to the world, because it should be public knowledge. So it's really the sharing of that knowledge. Every publication, every shared knowledge out there, every website out there, AI has the ability to search it. It will search the web. How
Exactly. And when my daughter actually gave me the description of myself, who am I, Danessa, and the things that I do, I was mind blown because it captured my advocacy, my work, and even the businesses that I am exploring. So it's beautiful at the same time. We really have to be conscious
yeah.
and mindful of our values because people can actually. Do you think this is also a way for people to steal our intellectual property? What's your thought on this? Because right now we are discussing about being values aligned in using AI. But before that, I'd like to acknowledge Miss Laureline Tomaroy as well as Eman Lacuesta for reacting to our video this app or our show this afternoon. So, yeah, how can we protect our intellectual property then?
Yes, that is very challenging because the moment you publish it, AI has access to it. So there are ways of protecting it. One, you can just share parts, bits and parts of it. And if people want to access it, then of course AI doesn't have well, it can, but it's not allowed to go into private emails, private messages,
Ah, okay.
private conversations. It just access the public, publish public information. So if you want to retain that, make sure to, also guard yourself.
Yeah.
But it is a challenge because there are people out, I mean, as much as we want to live in a world where everyone's intentions are pure
Mhm.
and beautiful, there are really people are out there that has other intentions.
Yes. And by the way, I know someone, this is from South Africa, okay. A contact from South Africa informed me that she knows someone, basically her friend, who wants to be an author. And you know what that friend of hers did? He was just writing, brought say the first draft, and then he let Chat GPT edit everything, and so the book was done in less than a month's time. And even he didn't pay for an editor because it was well written. The English was sounded so perfect. But
Yes.
what's your take on this action? You write something and then you let AI edit your work and then you claim that it's yours. Do you
I would
think
love
this is doing some work with integrity, or is it? Do you think this strategy is being smart?
I would love to try it myself because I have so many stories in my mind. When I was in high school, I had a list of all the titles, of all the books that I wanted to write. I had
Wow.
all the character names, I had all their characteristics. Like I have already described them. Several of those books were already in chapter 3, chapter 5, but I never finished any of it
Really?
because it was so tedious for me to write everything. I just wanted to write the outline. In my mind, it was already started, like there was already all the conflict, there was already all these characters, and there was already the ending. I just couldn't go through the writing of the whole thing. So it does take a lot of special people out there, like all the authors that did it without AI. I really applaud them. But can you imagine all the stories that were not told just because of people like me who couldn't, like it's stuck in our head, and
Mm,
then if we don't, you know, we'll bring it to our grave. So we've missed out on a lot of stories that could have been very impactful or maybe very inspiring for a lot
okay.
of people.
So
So,
that's
right.
another
Yeah,
angle to look into,
that's
right?
another
So
angle.
instead
Yeah.
of just being like holding yourself from publishing something because you're too busy, why not as well use the tool for you to produce more in life and leave a legacy? Well, that's another angle. So I leave that to the viewers, if you will do the same or not. Right now I'm actually I'm also writing not just a book, but I'm writing 3 books right now. But I really need time to sit and think, and I know if I will use AI, it will be way faster. But there are things in my heart that I want to write based off on my personal experience, which
Yes.
I know only me can write it because it's my personal walk. So
What
yeah,
what
that's
you can
that's
do to make
beautiful.
it faster, because sometimes research is involved. That's why it takes a long
Mm-hmm.
time for, like, let's just go to fiction. Fiction, for example, for mystery writers, or this detective books, they do a lot of research, or like law books, right? Like based
Mm-hmm.
on law drama, or medical drama books. It takes them so much time to do all this research. But with AI, it's so easy to do this research. So instead of taking like 2 years to create one book, maybe cut it in half. But then,
Wow.
you know, the ideas, the thoughts are still
Mm.
generated by you. So, but then again, the ethics, you have to
Yes,
you
that's
have
where
to
ethics, that is really an issue. I'd like to as well thanks Orim Lauren for um reacting with a heart to our show this afternoon. So that's really the issue, the ethical use of AI. It's a very huge discussion. I think I'll need more time to just tackle on that. But let me proceed to the next question. How can we make sure AI tools are accessible to undeserved or underrepresented communities, not just large corporations? This is a very relevant question. The reason being, there are still areas, especially in developing countries such as the Philippines, where people don't have access to this tool. And how can they stay relevant?
Well, because with AI, you would need the basic tools, which is like a computer or a cell phone, a
Yeah,
Wi-Fi,
the
and
internet,
internet.
yes.
And these things, they do cost. Um, they're costly, even if Wi-Fi. There are, I mean, sorry, AI softwares that are free.
Yeah,
So it goes back to legislation, what our legislators can do to help provide the devices needed, and then access to internet needed to access um, AI.
yeah,
So it still goes back to them, as well as empowering our educators to give them access to this as well. But then, even when our educators are lobbying for all these tools, all these gadgets, devices, it still goes back to the government and how they allocate budget for education, how they allocate budget for all those schools in the rural areas, because AI is for free, but if you don't have the device, if you don't have the connection,
That's
you
true.
still won't have access to it.
That's gonna be a challenge.
Yeah.
I do agree with you. So, what does role uh right now we know, especially the Gen Z generation are really AI avid user.
Yeah.
But for us who were, I would say, millennials, okay, what role does mentorship or coaching play in helping people transition from fear of AI to embracing it? And I don't know if this is a positive note or not, but it's the Gen Z now educating the millennials. So yeah, how can we transition? So what do you think, how does what role does mentorship or coaching play in helping people transition from fear of AI to embracing it?
So for us here in Ocean Click,
Mm.
okay, I admit I'm a I'm a millennial, but recently, just this week, we actually had a required up training, because
Mm,
everyone in the company needs to be able to know how to use AI, because
great.
it's a free tool. So we had that up training, and how I did it as a mentor, as the one introducing the use of AI to everyone here. I asked AI to give me an outline for a 1 hour up training.
Wow.
So AI generated that. It just took me 30 minutes to create everything, including the presentation, and it's complete with activities that they could really do and challenge them. So, because in my mind, who better to teach how to use AI than AI?
Okay,
So
great.
that's one thing that mentors can do. I mean, I know Gen Z, they're very good at it, but then the millennials actually has the wisdom and how to use it. Um, let's say, because when you create prompts, you have to create prompts intelligently.
Okay, that's
And sometimes there are Gen Z, like maybe junior high school, that when
mhm,
they create prompts, they don't have that experience and wisdom yet on how
mhm,
to give the proper prompt. And they would
yeah.
just generalize their prompts and just say, um, answer this homework. That's the prompt that they would
Okay.
give, right? But millennials, I guess we have that more experience wherein we can say, for example, as Danessa, head
Mhm.
of Growthinity, can you create this lecture, and this will be a 2 hour, let's say half day lecture, can add some activities, interactive activities, and so you have more, because you already know how to do the lecture. So you can easily guide AI with your prompts because you already know what you want. And then AI will provide the whole outline for you, but based on your prompt from your experience.
That's beautiful.
So,
So I
so
think that's the guide, especially for if you have viewers right now who are still new with AI and they would like to smartly or intelligibly engage with AI. You just gave us the tip that is actually being very careful with our prompt, because our prompt will actually give us the kind of result, and we are also training that AI to have our brain.
yes,
So, in other words, we are still the creators, right? We are the initiators, and AI will only amplify. It's not the other way around. Yes, it's both. So we amplify the potential of AI based off on our prompts, and AI will also amplify whatever the outcome that we have, because it has the power to access the various resources. So that's powerful, and I hope our viewers were able to take that. And I'm actually learning, even the way you gave an example earlier when you said you requested AI to give 2 hour training, and then you ask for specific example and so on and so forth. So in other words, when we give our prompts, we need to be very, very specific, and even in the outcome that we have. And then we should not leave AI, the work of AI as is, but it's up to us to finally to give the final edits and approval. And even if need be, we could edit the
Yes,
outline that is given by AI. We can mix
I
and
do that a
match and
lot.
align. Yeah, so that's very wonderful. Do you think this approach will ease the work of trainers?
Well, honestly, AI is still learning, right? It's a very, very fast learner, but it's still learning. For example, I asked just last night, I was asking AI, what does mangila would mean? And I already know what it means because that's my dialect, right? Cebuano. And then AI said it means shy, it means this. And I was like, no, that's not what it means. I was born and raised here, and that is my native language. And I know that Mangilawud means fisher folks or like people who go into the deep sea. Because I asked AI, what is Lawud? And AI said, it's deep sea. So I said, so if it's deep sea, then Mangilawud means people who go to deep sea. And AI was like, oh, you're right, because of Mang and of Lawud and this and maybe it was the difference in intonation, and it's not mangilawon is not shy, maybe it's maulawon that meant
Ah,
shy. So we were having this conversation. I was teaching AI to correct his vocabulary or her
wow, that's
vocabulary.
wonderful. Are you, when you say your AI, is it an app or is it
Oh, I'm using the very basic chat GPT because it's
when you
free
say
on my
basic,
phone.
are you saying you don't pay any
No, I
premium
don't
subscription?
have
Wow,
premium, but
that's awesome.
mine, the one that I'm using on my phone, it's free. It's free, the
Ah,
one that I'm conversing with. And I just talk to it. Like because you can just talk to it. It has that button for a microphone. So like we're talking to each other and then it answers.
so if such is the case, AI can actually answer our questions. Like what we are doing right now, we are providing people with free webinar. This is like a free webinar, not a live stream. And for those who would like to catch up with us, you can follow us on YouTube. So in the coming days, we'll be posting the links of our previous webinars, and you can review it on our YouTube channel. Do you think it's still necessary for us to have this when AI can provide the information that we need in just a few minutes?
Well, there's a difference between an interaction, watching an interaction, ideas, right?
Mhm.
AI just responds, but it doesn't initiate. It doesn't initiate, unlike what we're doing right now. Sometimes I think this, sometimes I think that, and sometimes we have this
Ah, okay.
sharing of ideas. AI would reply in the most professional way. But
Okay.
yeah, it does also give suggestion, but it doesn't really kind of like go far
Mhm.
from the discussion.
Mhm.
For now, I don't
Yeah.
know how fast it learns in the future, but for now, it doesn't. Like you can right now, you can talk we
Mhm.
can talk like this, but it wouldn't all of a sudden say, hey, watch our YouTube and we will be putting our links there, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah,
It will not segue that way.
that's true.
And of course, it will not laugh with you. It will not make, well, it can make a joke if you ask it to. I don't know if it's going to be funny or not. I'll
Yeah.
ask it later.
By
But
the way, I'd like to acknowledge our thank, okay, our additional viewer. We have Fazila Carolia. She's a good friend watching us from South Africa, if my memory serves me right. And we also have Jillian Ellsworth. Thanks for the reaction. She is a friend, a good friend from Dubai. So we have a global like I would say viewer. Okay. So thank you. That's awesome, right now. I'm really listening to you. I could see that you are an avid user of AI, and
Every day.
you see it more as a very not, the word positive is an understatement, but helpful, powerful tool
Yeah.
to expedite your work, to even challenge, your own creativity, and give you responses way faster than a human being, because it can access various resources. So I think that's great. But for those who are still, I would say, using the old way, the traditional, providing traditional labor force, they may not appreciate AI. But for us who are already advancing, and we are providing services and consultancy that could um, move things forward. That's a very general statement. We can really appreciate the power of AI. Let me proceed to the next question. We're almost closing, but yeah. We're waiting, by the way, for those who are watching us. Please feel free to drop your questions at the chat box section, so we can ask Miss Springzell. My next question is, in your view, what does okay, you already answered that. I prepared a few questions for Springs. My question is supposedly, what does transformation really look like when AI is used with purpose and intentionality? So it's already embedded in the answers.
Yeah. They
Okay,
they're
what
really
excites you the most about the future of AI and its potential to make a positive human impact?
there's so much to be excited about because before you have all these resources and they are in universities that you do not have access to. So imagine now, um, what people they that learned in Harvard, MIT, Caltech, all those very far, far away universities,
Mhm.
you can have access to those to parts of their mindset, their studies, the things that they've made public, right? And it's very helpful when you are leading an organization, especially from a small city wherein you're trying to go global. And so it's so much easier to ask help from AI, how to ramp up, how to have that wider reach, and to ask for suggestions and ask for case studies and ask, like, how did they do this? How did they do that? What can I do with this? How can I implement this here from where I am so I can you can give this all these questions to AI and it will kind of generate that. And you can even give AI all your problems. I would talk to AI. It's my problem right now with our operations, this. What are your suggestions? What are the best
So are
practices
you saying you
of the
don't
best
need to pay a
companies?
consultant for that? Are you saying that you are cost cutting by using AI, then you don't need a consultant to help you in your operations?
Honestly, yeah. But then, you know, it also gives people who don't have access to a lot of things a bit of an advantage to get there, um, with people that have access and has deep pockets to access all these things. Imagine an entrepreneur in India or in Africa that doesn't have all these resources to access all these things. But with AI, with the right prompts, with intelligence, she or he could have guidance in.
I think when it comes to AI, aside from just giving us responses and answers to our questions and prompts, what I've noticed on this is not just like more of an observation, but it's a fact, right? Our data, like our data on Facebook, LinkedIn, all social media for that matter, and even when we put in our details when we see, how do you call that, ads on the internet, I think our data are being captured and placed in a data bank. So knowledge. I mean, data is power now, and these people, big entrepreneurs who have, or investors have the capacity to access our these data banks, actually use them to um, maximize the impact and reach, I would say the reach of their businesses, right? So they can target the right audience. So I believe it's we are using AI. If we've noticed, even when we checked on, you mentioned that last time, when we even use Facebook video reels or short clips, you intentionally choose reels, prompt, how do you call that? Can you explain that to us, please? That
Yeah,
itself is AI, the
it
algorithm of
is the
Facebook and Instagram.
algorithm.
Yeah, so can you please repeat that? Because that is basically using AI with intentionality and purpose.
Yes, absolutely. Like you can't just put anything out there and just hope for the best.
Yes.
There has to be an intention when you're putting. That's why when you scroll through your feed, you have to engage with the same audience that you want to put your business forward to,
Mm,
right? So whatever, like for us, we want to engage more with our US clients, even if we're from the Philippines. So I myself would look through my feed and comment and react to posts and to reels that are from the US or from that culture, so
okay.
that my my post also is pushed forward to that audience. That's why I have
That's
another account
wonderful.
for local
That's
engagement.
wonderful.
Yes. So they,
Yeah.
they do they do use our data, and that's why it's free for us to sign up, because are we are the we are the product.
Yes. Exactly,
Our
exactly.
data is the
There
product.
is nothing completely free in this world. So if we are using it for free, then we are actually the product. We are the product. They're using our data. We don't have questions as of yet, but we have a few minutes left. For those who would like to probably post their comments, just please feel free to drop your comments on the comment box. Then we can answer that later. For those who would like to catch up, please visit us on our YouTube channel, Growthinity. Then we will also post the link here in the coming days, even the links of our previous, or from our previous live sessions. Now, I have this one last question for our guest speaker this afternoon. How can communities,
Mm,
so when I say communities, I'm not only referring to the physical, like here, like community or city, but
mm,
I would say virtual communities like Growthinity play. How can our community play a role in shaping a purpose-driven AI culture? I believe there are lots of groups, right? We are part of different groups. We have CEO Mindset, we have Growthinity, and and so on and so forth. Yes.
Um, for sure, because in Growthinity, we want growth, learning,
Yes.
development, and innovation for sure.
Yes.
So the people here that are quite hesitant yet and not yet scared, I just want them to think of it like fire, for sure. When fire was first discovered, or when human beings started to use fire, it's very scary. I mean, it can burn you. It's very hot. It could burn the whole place down, right? There's so many cons to fire. But when people learn how to harness the power of fire, we became unstoppable, and we became the top of the food chain, you know?
Are you saying the AI, the how do you call that? The level of the potential of AI now being used is not, it's not yet at its fullest,
Mm,
right? It
For
keeps on
sure.
evolving. So
It
I
is.
think what is your message to the audience this afternoon or this morning, those who are watching us with regard to AI? What is your last message? Like, how can you like give them an encouragement?
Okay.
Okay.
Well, first this is to those who are still hesitant and, a little fearful about it. Again, nothing is constant but change. You can start with just like the very, very basic chat GPT. Like it's like the starter AI. You can go to their website, like chatgpt.com, and just ask a few questions, try it out, take it out for a spin and see what it can do for you. You can ask for recipes if you like, or just answers to questions about the universe is also fine. You can try that. For those who are struggling in getting the results, those who
Mhm,
are already using AI and yet are not getting the results that AI can actually provide, then
mhm,
you can ask AI to guide you how to use prompts. Because if you ask AI, can you help me? What would be the best prompts that I can use so that I can maximize your AI as a resource? It will also give you that.
wow.
It will also teach you how to use proper prompts. So try that. And to those who are concerned about the implications of what AI could bring and how it could affect, the good, the bad, the ugly, and
Mm,
all that. Be a leader and lead in using AI with integrity, because if you don't, there will be people out there with not so good intentions that will use AI
mm.
for their own gain. So use it with intentionality and lead your people, your organization. um yeah, lead them with integrity in using AI.
It's
So
beautiful. Thank you so much, Miss Springzale, for your input this afternoon. Before we end, I'd like to say thank you as well to James Makahig and Rotella Garnett for reacting to our video. Thank you for watching us. In fact, right now we have around over 130 views, and the those who have been, and there are a few people who really stayed. By the way, I'd like to read the comment from Fazila Carolia. AI creates movies from my photos and videos, and it makes me look so professional. Wow.
yes,
this is
absolutely, yes.
this is so this is overwhelming, huh?
I
AI
haven't
creates
even
movies from
started
my
men
photos and videos.
Yeah. I haven't even started mentioning everything that AI can do. Okay, I'm gonna say one. Like, my husband and I were playing around with AI, and then he his video, we asked AI to translate it into Italian and into Japanese. And the same video where he was talking in English, he was talking in Italian, his mouth was talking in Italian, his mouth was talking in Japanese. It used his voice to talk in Italian, to talk in Japanese. That's another use
It's
of
also
AI.
somehow a bit scarier, right? It's
We take, yes.
interesting, but it's, yeah,
So
that
that,
means
yeah,
we need to be very careful, because our how do you call that, our video reels or even our recording could be used by people with
yeah,
really negative intention and use AI to use it against us. They call it the digital footprint. We have to be very careful with the digital footprint and minimize it. Am I cool? Am I correct in saying digital footprint? Yeah, we need to be. Yeah, you need to be
correct.
very careful. But this is the world now, and people, whether you realize it or not, the more you post on FB, the more you give AI the leverage and the power to use the information about you for you or against you.
Yeah.
So, since we don't have questions this afternoon, we only have a few reactions. But yes, thank you for staying in until the end of our session. It has been very wonderful. It has been a very substantial discussion with Miss Springzil, Prots Bacaro Daniel. Um, Indeed, it was an inspiring and eye-opening conversation. AI is no longer just a tool of the future. It's here right now, and it's shaping how we lead, create, and grow today. At Growthinity, we believe in equipping leaders to align with their purpose and empower others through innovation. And this episode proves just how powerful that can be. Thank you for tuning in. If this conversation sparkled ideas or purpose in you, don't keep it to yourself. Share it, start a dialogue, and step into action. Be sure to follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/groups.growthinity for more updates and upcoming events. We also have Instagram page. Just go to Instagram Growthinity. We also have LinkedIn page. It's Growthinity. It's simply Growthinity, and currently we have our YouTube channel, which we will launch very soon. And we are happy to upload this conversation there and the previous recordings. So until next time, remember, growth is infinite when purpose leads the way. A pleasant afternoon from us, and enjoy Mother's Day tomorrow. Bye.
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 Thank you so much.
Thank you.